In the afternoon, we'll be tracking some much colder air building in after that. Our first widespread hard freeze of this season, getting into Sunday morning, even colder Monday morning. And we'll be tracking some rain to snow potential heading into the weekend. That's going to be on Saturday. We'll have some morning rain that shifts over to mainly melting snow around the metro, at least for the afternoon to evening. And that all combines with a strong northwest wind that's going to bring in a pretty significant wind chill factor. Now, the snow shouldn't be a huge impact for the metro. We're talking about a dusting on the grass and elevated surfaces, but for a small corner of the viewing area, up to an inch. So Denison and Carroll could get a little bit more snow. We'll be taking a closer look and keeping a close eye on the timing. There have been some changes. Looks like we have a couple rounds of moisture building in. So as we pick up the hour by hour forecast and head into Saturday morning, this will be our first round. We have mainly showers as we're still warmer ahead of our approaching cold front. So we start off with more mild conditions. And then as we get into the late morning hours, that cold air sneaks into the north. And especially by about midday, we could be tracking some snow around Norfolk, Tekamah, Denison, and Carroll. But any rain that's falling at this point around the metro and down to the south would not be changing over just yet. Afternoon, some colder air will start to work in, and we could see a bit of a wintry mix by about mid-afternoon into the metro and all snow out to the north and east. Now, keep in mind, we still have some very warm ground, so a lot of this is going to melt. That's going to limit accumulation, but as we get into late evening hours Saturday and those snow showers continue, we could wind up with a dusting on the ground before this all clears up by Sunday morning. Be taking a closer look at some strong winds as well as intense cold that comes along with this. That's coming up in just a little bit. Jacqueline.
All right, Emily, time to bundle up. Thank you.
To back, first Alert 6 weather days over the weekend. You have one more good day to get outside and hopefully get things winterized before that cold gets here. Friday should be a nice day for the outdoors, pretty similar to today, but we're adding in more sunshine. We're starting off with temperatures in the mid 40s and warming up fast. We're at 52 by 9 a.m., low 60s by noon, and we're aiming for a high of 65 around the metro. Have some morning clouds around, but those clear up very quickly. That'll help us with our warm up. We'll be battling a little bit of a breeze tomorrow. 65 for Omaha, 64 in Tekamah, 67 in Lincoln, and a high of 66 for Red Oak. You'll notice a northwest wind that picks up for the afternoon. That could gust as high as the 30s. We'll have even stronger winds here by the weekend. I'll get you a first alert to that coming up. Jacqueline.
All right, Emily, sounds good. Thank you.
Alert to some big changes here by the weekend. We're tracking some much chillier air and chances for rain changing over to snow. So take advantage of tomorrow. High temperatures in the mid 60s. By Saturday, we'll be cooling off pretty quickly by the afternoon as a cold front sweeps in. Ahead of that, we'll have some gusty winds, but the worst of the wind gets here later in the day as that chillier air spills in. So as we go through our hour by hour forecast on Saturday, picking this up at noon, we're just starting to see that north breeze kick in for the metro. So the first part of the day, still not too bad in terms of wind potential. It's already getting windy though out to the west, and those stronger gusts will start to spread in and move into the metro through the evening. That's when temperatures really start to fall fast. We'll see a higher potential for that changeover from rain to snow as the cold air spills in, and will be windiest overnight into early Sunday with gusts as high as the 40s, and that's going to drive in some very cold air for Sunday morning. By 8 a.m., we're still tracking gusts as high as the 30s. We'll have on and off gusts into the 30s through the day on Sunday, tapering off Sunday night. So with that wind combined with cold, temperatures are down to the mid 20s by Sunday morning. Our feels like forecast, I want to get you a first alert to this, will be down to the teens by early Sunday, and the afternoon highs in the 30s, only feeling like the mid 20s. Will be even colder on Monday morning. So with back-to-back mornings where we see a widespread hard freeze, just keep in mind you're probably going to have to winterize things outdoors, get those sprinkler lines blown out ahead of this. It's going to be an intense round of cold. Monday, a high of 42, but after that it's a quick rebound and we have a nice stretch of highs in the 60s into the start of next weekend. Can stay on top of the forecast by weekend as our our coldest air of the season settles in. Saturday's high of 50 happens relatively early, right around midday, and temperatures will be falling fast after that. We have some morning rain showers to track in the metro, and then in the afternoon to evening, more rain that changes over to snow. So we'll have kind of two rounds of precipitation moving in with that. And the second round certainly will be impacted by the colder air. That brings us down to the 20s by Sunday morning. Widespread hard freeze and pretty cold with a high of only 37 degrees as we head into the tail end of the weekend. Be taking a closer look at the timing of this system and how much snow we could see on the way by the weekend. But in the meantime, it's been pretty nice out there today. So if you're taking advantage of the last of this warmth, should be a nice night to walk the dog. We're sitting in the low 60s right now. We should stay there through about 5 p.m. And with a nice layer of cloud cover out there tonight, slow cool down. We're still in the mid 50s by 6 o'clock and 7 o'clock tonight. Now for Friday night football, we have just as warm of a forecast in store for tomorrow, but we don't have the clouds tomorrow evening. So what that means for us, especially with the northwest breeze, is a quick cool down. So I would bring some extra layers with you if you're out in the stands. We'll be in the mid 40s by about 8 o'clock tomorrow night. We'll take a closer look at some intense cold that's here for the weekend. A first alert to that coming up. Brian?
Yeah, mid 40s and some bleachers.
No, thank you.
Not comfortable. Thanks, Emily.
Alert to our weekend system, bringing in some rain and snow for some of us. By Saturday morning, we'll be tracking rain chances moving through. This is ahead of our colder air, and the chilly air spills into the north first. So by the late morning to midday hours, we already have some snow potential around Norfolk, Decatur, Denison, and Carroll, with the chance for some scattered rain showers into the metro, eventually changing over to snow by the afternoon to evening. Very little accumulation, though. We'll take a closer look at how much we could see coming up with your 10-day power planner.
We'll now look at what's on
in store before the cold gets here this weekend. Back-to-back first alert 6 weather days, Saturday and Sunday. Take advantage of Friday. That's the day to get anything done outdoors. Winterize your yards and your homes before clouds and afternoon clearing. Now by Saturday, we'll be tracking rain in the morning and then a second round of rain that changes over to mainly melting snow as we get into the afternoon to evening. As far as accumulation for the metro is concerned, very minimal. I think you'll notice maybe a dusting on the grass and elevated surfaces by late Saturday night and early Sunday morning. We will have the potential for maybe some patchy icy spots on bridges and overpasses, but not anticipating that to be a widespread issue. Moving off to the north, this is where we could have slightly more accumulation, anywhere highlighted in light blue. So just north of Norfolk and into Denison and Carroll will stay under 1 inch for snow. So it's not going to be a heavy round or a high impact round, but it will be cold. We're down to the mid 20s by Sunday morning, and with some strong winds, could be feeling more like the teens. A high of only 37 degrees on Sunday afternoon. We'll have on and off winds gusting as high as 40 miles per hour and much calmer conditions by early Monday. And that's going to allow temperatures to fall even more. We'll be down to about 21 degrees for that morning low, a high of 42 on Monday, but our feels like forecast yet again down to the teens through Monday morning and more like the 30s at our warmest point in the day. That's what you're going to have to dress for. As we get into Tuesday of next week, this is when we get some warmth building back in. Highs return to the 60s, and we have a nice stretch of that into the start of next weekend.
All right, good. I'll just focus on that next week then.
Yeah, just a taste of the cold, a lot of cold, and then kind of back to fall.
Yeah.
All right, thanks, Emily.